Hey everybody, so today we're going to be talking about travel insurance. Now there's going to be a lot of different asterisks throughout this video because I am not a travel insurance expert. So why am I doing this video? Well, I'm doing this video because so many people ask, and I offer with every trip for you to purchase travel insurance. Now some companies call it by different names, Cruise Care, Travel Plus, all different names. But the bottom line is, should you be purchasing travel insurance? We're going to talk about it today. So when talking about travel insurance, what most people want to know is how much does it cost? And I have to tell you, there is no one set amount. So travel insurance is based entirely on the price of your trip. So it's usually a set percentage, what that looks like for each carrier and different coverages. I cannot tell you without doing a little bit of research, but for each trip, there is a set price from that servicer. Now, I can't tell you how much is it going to be for such and such of a trip until I actually quote the trip. But it is something that you do need to add before you make your final payment on a trip. But you do have time. So when we quote a trip and you say, yes, I want to book that trip, and then we put down a deposit, at that point, I can tell you how much it would be to cover your whole trip. And then you have up until the time you have made your final payment. In most cases, when you're purchasing directly through the cruise line, to add that insurance. There are exceptions. So the real cost of travel insurance is when you don't purchase travel insurance, but you need it. So I'm going to share with you, with permission from my client, a story about somebody who did purchase the insurance and what that did for her and for her family. So she had planned a fantastic New Year's Eve cruise. They planned it way in advance. They were very excited about it. They did purchase the travel insurance. And very close to the time that they were supposed to board, they had already paid off the cruise. They were ready to go. We were talking about packing lists, and we're talking about what to make sure that you bring on your trip. And she found out through a standard doctor's checkup that a pre-existing condition that she had been living with for years had come to a crisis, and she was going to need a very serious surgery in order to fix an issue that she had. And her husband actually called me, and he was very upset. And of course, at that point, all you think about is your loved one's health. You're not really concerned about the money so much. But since they had the insurance, I was able to initiate the claim. A couple of quick little forms later, they were able to get 100% of their money back because it was due to a covered medical problem. But here's what else happened, is they were traveling with other people. So she was traveling with a family member in a completely different reservation, a completely different cabin on that same cruise. And we were able to get that cousin's money back 100% because she wasn't comfortable going on the vacation with the serious medical issue that was happening in the family. So that was an amazing result. They got 100% of their money back. They're able to go. She's had the surgery. She's doing great, but you never really know what's going to come up. So surgeries aren't the only things that are a covered medical exception. Let's take a look at what some of the common ones are. Now, there are differences in coverages depending upon your state, but I'm going to just read off a few of the things that I think people might think about if this is a covered thing based on my home state of Georgia, USA. We can always check to see what is different for your state or country. So I'm going to look away here for a minute and do some reading. So sickness, injury, or death of yourself, a traveling companion, or members either of your immediate families, diagnosed, treated by a physician. You do need to just not say, hey, I'm not feeling well. This has to be something that a physician says it is unwise or you cannot travel. How about this one? Involvement in a traffic accident on your way to to depart your cruise. You're flying down the highway and you get in a very serious car accident and you can't make your cruise. That's a covered reason. What about if your home is made uninhabitable by a natural disaster? Fire, flood, hurricane, volcano, not here in Georgia, but it is still included on that. If you're called into active duty, if you are military or reserve, if you've been subpoenaed, I do get this question a lot. If you've been subpoenaed for jury duty, then you only get your money back if you have travel insurance. Now, we've just been talking about cancellation, and it's not always 100%. Some of these things are covered. If you choose to just cancel, I've changed my mind, or it's not one of those covered reasons, you still can get up to 90% back, and that is certainly a lot more than nothing back. But beyond cancellation, travel insurance also gives you coverages for emergency medical issues while you are away on your trip, lost baggage, trip delay, all kinds of different coverages that really could mean the difference between a great vacation and a not so great vacation. So that's an awful lot of information I've thrown at you, but the bottom line is this: please don't dismiss out of hand when you are talking about spending and investing money on a trip. Maybe you should consider, and I highly recommend, getting travel protection insurance. So there's a lot more to talk about, but first we have to plan a fantastic trip. So you know the drill. So you're going to comment below. You're going to like and share this video. Thank you. And then you're going to contact me, text, DM, email me at brenda@adventurewaytravels.com, and let's start the booking process.